What if one of the biggest shifts in women's basketball wasn't just happening on the court, where highlights and championships take center stage, but outside of it, where the foundations of legacy, influence, and lasting change are quietly being built? Caitlin Clark, a name that basketball fans can't stop talking about, has recently unveiled a move that could potentially revolutionize the future of women's sports. On March 18, 2025, the Caitlin Clark Foundation, in partnership with Musco Lighting, announced the creation of 4 state-of-the-art multi-sport courts at middle schools throughout Des Moines. These courts won't just feature basketball hoops, but will also be designed for soccer and futsal, offering a complete and inclusive athletic experience. Sounds amazing, right? But while this move might sound like nothing but a positive development, it's actually causing some serious anxiety among certain WNBA veterans.
Why?
Why would something so beneficial to the community raise red flags for some players in the league? Stick with me as we explore how Caitlin Clark's latest initiative is shaking things up in the world of women's basketball and how it's challenging the very foundation of the league itself. Caitlin Clark's initiative isn't just another charity donation or a public relations stunt. It's a well-thought-out, long-term investment in youth sports that could have ripple effects for years, if not decades, to come. The Caitlin Clark Foundation, alongside Musco Lighting, is building 4 new Musco mini-pitch systems at middle schools across Des Moines: Hyatt, Callanan, Maccombs, and Weeks. These aren't the standard courts we're used to seeing in gyms or rec centers. These are fully integrated, top-of-the-line sports facilities that will cater to multiple sports: basketball, soccer, and futsal. Each court is equipped with built-in goals and hoops, high-quality integrated fencing, professional-grade lighting, benches for players to rest during breaks, and ADA-accessible gates to ensure that no child is left out. This level of investment goes far beyond just offering kids a place to play. These courts are designed to create opportunities for kids to explore multiple sports, connect with others, and develop valuable life skills. And this vision goes hand in hand with Caitlin Clark's personal mission to empower youth through education, nutrition, and sports, the same pillars she credits for her own success. As Mary Coffin, president of the Caitlin Clark Foundation, eloquently put it, providing courts for local youth helps them find opportunities to play and connect with others. These aren't just places to shoot hoops or kick a soccer ball. They're spaces where kids can foster teamwork, develop discipline, learn how to communicate, and gain confidence. This initiative doesn't just support the next generation of athletes, it creates a community of engaged, well-rounded individuals. So why are some WNBA veterans feeling uneasy? Well, let's dig into the real reason behind the tension this project is creating in the league. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's rise to prominence. She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon. Since her breakout college career at the University of Iowa, Clark has been a force to be reckoned with. She's broken records, captivated audiences, and generated a level of attention for women's basketball that had never been seen before. But here's where things get interesting. While her athletic prowess has certainly put her at the top of her game, it's her growing influence off the court that has truly set her apart. Clark didn't just help fill seats in arenas during her rookie season with the Indiana Fever. She created a cultural moment for the WNBA. Her dynamic play on the court translated into millions of dollars in additional revenue for the league, helped boost TV ratings to new heights, and made her a household name in the sports world. That's a massive feat for a league that struggled with viewership and profitability for years. But now, with the announcement of this major philanthropic initiative, Clark is showing that her impact isn't just going to be defined by her stats and highlights. She's leveraging her platform, her popularity, and her brand to build something that will outlast her playing days, something that will forever change the landscape of women's basketball. Now, this isn't just about Clark creating a bigger brand for herself. It's about her using her newfound influence to change the game for the better. By spearheading this initiative, she's positioning herself as more than just a basketball player. She's becoming an advocate for youth sports, a community leader, and a visionary entrepreneur who understands that real change takes time and that it happens through infrastructure, education, and lasting relationships. This isn't just philanthropy, it's legacy building. And that's what has some veterans in the WNBA worried. For years, the league's power structure has been dominated by a group of players who shaped the public narrative around women's basketball. But Caitlin Clark's growing influence is shifting those dynamics, and it's forcing others to rethink their place within the league. What sets Caitlin Clark's initiative apart from other athlete-driven charitable efforts is its long-term, strategic approach. These 4 new multi-sport courts aren't just one-off donations. They're a significant, ongoing investment in the future of youth sports, with tangible outcomes that will affect tens of thousands of young people. Each of these 4 courts will serve an average of 10,000 kids, meaning that, in total, 40,000 youth will benefit from the opportunity to play on these high-quality facilities. That's not just a small impact. That's a massive one. And it doesn't stop at the number of kids who will have access to these courts. These facilities are being built at a critical time in the development of young athletes, as middle school is when kids are most impressionable and open to trying new things. The courts will offer a space for kids to try basketball, soccer, and futsal, 3 sports that have distinct benefits for developing physical fitness, teamwork, and leadership skills. But more than that, these courts represent a pathway to creating future fans of women's basketball. As kids develop a passion for playing sports on these courts, many will no doubt be introduced to the sport of basketball, and who better to look up to than Caitlin Clark herself? What Caitlin Clark is doing is not just charity. It's a comprehensive, long-term strategy to build the next generation of athletes, fans, and supporters for women's sports. It's a shift in how athletes can use their platforms to make a real difference in their communities, and it's something that could ultimately reshape the future of the WNBA itself. While other players may have built their brands on individual accolades, Caitlin Clark is building something far more enduring, a foundation that strengthens her community and grows the next generation of women's basketball fans. This is the kind of strategic thinking that has some WNBA veterans on edge, especially those who may have focused more on personal branding and immediate returns. Historically, the WNBA has been a league defined not only by its athleticism, but by its strong ties to activism and social justice causes. Players have used their platforms to advocate for everything from racial justice to gender equality, and they've become powerful voices for social change. This activism resonated deeply with a dedicated fan base, but it hasn't always translated into widespread mainstream popularity. While many players in the league have made invaluable contributions to advancing social causes, the league as a whole has struggled with visibility and financial success. Caitlin Clark, however, represents a shift in how athletes can build their legacies. While she hasn't shied away from advocating for important issues, her primary focus has always been on basketball excellence, and it's that focus that has made her stand out. Unlike other players who have built their brands primarily on their activism, Clark is using her athletic achievements as a platform to give back to her community and invest in the future of youth sports. This new approach, one that blends athletic excellence with long-term community impact, is forcing the WNBA to reconsider what it means to be a successful player in the modern era. It's no longer enough to just post on social media or make a statement about a cause. You need to demonstrate measurable impact, and Caitlin Clark is doing just that. Her initiative is a prime example of what happens when athletes use their business acumen, their influence, and their passion to create lasting, tangible change. Clark's commitment to philanthropy isn't a new development. It's been a consistent part of her career from the very beginning. Even as a college player, she was known for giving back to her community in meaningful ways. Whether it was partnering with Scholastic to donate 22,000 books to underserved communities or supporting local charities in Iowa, Clark has always been focused on more than just her own success. She understands that her platform gives her the power to create real change, and she's used it to give back to those who helped shape her career. Her philanthropic efforts have only grown since entering the WNBA. In fact, when her jersey was retired at the University of Iowa, she donated $22,000 to 4 local charities, including the University of Iowa Children's Hospital and the Boys and Girls Club of the Corridor. This level of commitment to giving back has not only made her beloved in her home state, but has also elevated her to a new level of influence, one that's larger than just basketball. Her foundation's work has shown that Caitlin Clark is just as dedicated to making a difference off the court as she is on it. And that's something that's hard to ignore. especially when other athletes in the WNBA are just starting to realize the importance of making substantial, lasting contributions to their communities. What Caitlin Clark is building is more than just a series of sports courts. It's a vision for the future of youth development, community engagement, and the overall growth of women's sports. These new multi-sport facilities in Des Moines represent the first phase of what could be a nationwide movement. The courts aren't just for today's youth. They're part of a larger initiative to create a network of accessible, high-quality athletic spaces that will continue to benefit future generations. Imagine children who aren't even born yet having the opportunity to play basketball, soccer, or futsal on courts funded by Caitlin Clark's Foundation. These facilities will outlast trends, viral moments, and fleeting celebrity endorsements. This forward-thinking approach is exactly what sets Caitlin Clark apart from other athletes. She's not simply concerned with her own career and legacy. She's dedicated to shaping the world that comes after her. The multi-sport nature of the courts, basketball, soccer, and futsal, illustrates that she understands the value of exposing young people to a variety of activities. It's about creating holistic athletic opportunities that encourage collaboration across different sports, bringing together kids from all walks of life with shared experiences on the court. By making sure these courts are located in middle schools, at a time when kids are beginning to form their identities and passions, Clark is ensuring that youth sports are available to everyone, not just those who can afford private programs or memberships at exclusive gyms. This level of accessibility is critical, especially in underserved communities where opportunities are often scarce. The courts become not just spaces for sports, but also community hubs where children can form connections, build friendships, and learn from one another. And it's not just about access to sports. It's about creating an environment where kids are encouraged to be active, healthy, and engaged in positive activities. By focusing on this, Clark is building infrastructure that will help develop well-rounded, healthier individuals who will carry these experiences with them for the rest of their lives. But perhaps the most important impact of all is the long-term legacy it creates. These courts will be here for years, potentially decades, continuing to serve thousands of children over time. It's not just about the current generation. It's about investing in the next generation of athletes, leaders, and community-driven individuals. Now, let's talk about the challenge this presents for other WNBA players. For years, the WNBA has been dominated by a small group of athletes who have set the tone for the league, both in terms of athleticism and activism. These players have used their voices to push for change, to advocate for social justice, and to fight for equality both on and off the court. While this has undoubtedly made an impact and is part of what makes the WNBA unique, the league still faces challenges in terms of visibility, media coverage, and financial sustainability. Caitlin Clark, however, is rewriting the playbook. Her approach combines the best of both worlds, athletic excellence and community impact. And that's where the challenge lies. Her success has shown that athletes can do more than just be great at their sport. They can also create lasting change by investing in their communities. This is a model that other players, who may have focused solely on their on-court performances or personal social media presences, now need to consider. Clark's multifaceted approach is forcing WNBA veterans to rethink how they engage with their fans, sponsors, and communities. As Clark continues to grow her influence, it's clear that the new standard of success in the league is going to be far more expansive. It's not enough to just have an impressive highlight reel or to be outspoken on social issues. To truly make an impact, players need to demonstrate measurable, long-lasting community involvement. And that's what Caitlin Clark is doing. The kind of infrastructure and change she's creating is tangible. These courts will be here for years to come, and they'll impact thousands of lives in the process. This level of dedication, business acumen, and foresight is what's setting her apart, and it's something that other players may need to emulate if they want to remain relevant in this changing landscape. Caitlin Clark is more than just a basketball player. She's a pioneer. By combining her athletic prowess with strategic community investment, she is creating a legacy that goes far beyond the basketball court. This initiative isn't about one-upmanship or superficial gestures. It's about building something that will last, something that will have a real, lasting impact on future generations of athletes, fans, and community members. Caitlin Clark is setting a new standard for what it means to be a successful athlete in the modern era. The days of simply being a great player and posting a few social media updates are behind us. Now it's about real, tangible contributions to society. As Caitlin Clark continues to change the game, the question becomes, what will the future of the WNBA look like? Will other players follow her lead and use their platforms to make a similar impact? Or will they resist the new expectations and risk becoming irrelevant in a league that is increasingly defined by community-driven, lasting change? What's undeniable is that Caitlin Clark's model represents a shift in how athletes can and should approach their careers. It's no longer just about performance on the court. It's about creating a legacy that transcends sport, about building for the future, and about making a real difference in the world. And as more players begin to recognize this new paradigm, we'll likely see a wave of athletes following in Caitlin Clark's footsteps, using their platforms and their resources to build something far greater than themselves. What do you think? Is Caitlin Clark's approach the future of women's sports? How can other athletes learn from her example? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the world of women's sports. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.